So he went there, started banging the door, like shouting, calling her all sorts of bad names. So the door was locked and he couldn't get in. So he went outside and actually gotten like a metal stick. So he went to break the door down and then pulled my mom with the hair, started attacking her. Like I was small by the time, I couldn't do anything. If there was something that I could do, like maybe I would have done something very bad, you see.
Yeah.
So as he was attacking her, he took her to the kitchen, opened a rug, pulled out a knife, and then like started to stab her in the throat.
Welcome to the Safe Space Chess podcast with Madam Speaker. My name is Perseverance Marimeni, also known as Madam Speaker, also known as the CEO of Self Love. If you're joining for the first time, welcome to the family of healing, self love, and motivation. And if you're returning, thank you so much for the continuous love and support that you are showing me. A big shout out to E2 Hair Studios for dressing me up. Like, look at my hair, it's looking dapper. And a big shout out to Crown Lioness for dressing me out up all the way down. And a big shout out to Scent Studios, a big shout out to Hydro Quench for keeping us hydrated. Today's episode, I want our guest to introduce himself and then we're going to go straight into it. And then he's going to tell us the story of today. Hi, my brother.
Hello, Madam Speaker. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah, introduce yourself to the people.
Oh, my name is Ndamulelo, Innocent Machekecheke. I was born and raised in Limpopo, but now I'm currently located around Joburg. Yeah.
How has life been like growing up in Limpopo?
Hey, life has been very bad. Eh.
Really?
Ups and downs, it was bad.
Most everybody keeps saying Limpopo is the best place to grow up and then Joburg is the worst. How is it that for you it was?
Maybe to them it's actually the best that side, but for me, it was the rough days.
Is
It
it?
wasn't good. Yeah,
So what made it so bad?
like abuse, traumas, like being into drugs. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So where did it all start?
It all started when I lost my mom. Think about 2004 there.
Okay.
Like I was 5 years old there. Yeah, that's where everything like began from there.
Okay.
So my mom died when I was 5 years old. From there, we moved to Joburg. From Joburg, that's where I started engaging in drugs, like doing all sorts of bad stuff, I can say. Because when my mom passed away, it kind of affected me like deeply because she was actually like killed by my dad. Yeah, so me and my dad, we didn't have a relationship at all. Like I started to hate him when I was like by the age of 12 years. That's when like that image clicked in my mind of like, hey man, this person is actually the person that took away the one person that actually mattered most in my life, you see.
So when you say the image of your dad killing your mom, were you there?
Yeah, I was present by the time. He used to like abuse my mom each and every day. Like whenever he was drunk, he would come back home, like fight with my mom, like swearing at her, calling her all sorts of names. Sometimes like my mom, like whenever there was tension between them, she would take me and we would go like to her family side. So like he would come there, let's say like apologizing and stuff, because you see people like in relationship he can abuse you and then come and like manipulate you again, and then you can understand
And go back.
and go back.
Yeah.
So that's like what he used to do each and every time. So because like she passed away like on my birthday. It was on my birthday the day that she died.
Sure.
Yeah.
So on that day, what are the details that you remember happening on that day?
Okay, on that day, it was my birthday. I remember like me and my mom we were coming back from church. And then my mother's family side, like they actually wanted to celebrate my birthday with me.
Okay.
So my dad like didn't want me to go there. I don't know, like most of the time, like he didn't want me to go like spend like maybe some time with my mother's family side. So he requested that like I shouldn't go there on that day. So like at night, I think it was but it was at night. I couldn't remember the time, but it was at night. Like my mom got a call, like he was saying that hey, he's coming back, he's going to fight with her, things like that. So my granny actually took my mom to the bedroom where she used to sleep, and then they locked the door with the other family members. Like, we were young by the time, we were watching TV. Like, he came back, he was shouting, open the door, hey, where's your mother? And I'm like, she's in the bedroom with my granny. So he went there, started banging the door, like shouting, calling her all sorts of bad names. So the door was locked and he couldn't get in. So he went outside and actually gotten like a metal stick. So he went to break the door down and then pulled my mom with the hair, started attacking her. Like, I was small by the time, I couldn't do anything. If there was something that I could do, like maybe I would have done something very bad, you see.
Yeah.
So as he was attacking her, he took her to the kitchen, opened a rug, pulled out a knife, and then like started to stab her in the throat. And then by the time I was crying, shouting, because I couldn't like do anything. All I saw like was my mom lying in a pool of blood. The next thing, like the other family members, like they were shocked. Hey, what's happening? Because like they couldn't control him because he was violent at the time. So he took her body, put her inside, like he was driving a taxi by the time. Put her like on the front seat, and then he got on the driver's seat. So the moment like when he was actually trying to start the car, my granny went to him and told her, hey, like leave her body here so that we must call the ambulance. But he refused and then just went away with the body. And then after, like, when he left, we didn't know where he was going with her. Like, in the kitchen, there was blood everywhere. Like, on the sitting room, there was blood. After that, like, we were young. They thought we wouldn't, like,
Remember.
notice what is happening. So they took us to our next door neighbors where we actually, like, stayed with them about, like, 4 days. And then after, like, 4 days, like, probably, like, a week, so when it was the time for us to go back home, like I'm just seeing like people coming, they building tents, chairs are coming, like granny old people are just coming, they're gathering around. So then I'm asking, hey, my mom has been gone ever since that day. Where is she coming? When is she coming back? And then they were like, your mom went somewhere, she's gonna come back. Cause like by the time I couldn't tell it, like people do like really die because I was a small child. And then after that, like we just like there for like a couple of a weeks, so up until it's Saturday. And then we see black cars coming in, a lot of people gathering in. And then the next thing, they putting like the coffin inside the house. And then like as they put the coffin and get like when like let's say undertakers, when they bring a coffin inside the house, like they can open it for like the family to
Yeah.
just see the person.
Yeah.
So like I'm asking there like in front of people, hey, why is my mother lying on this thing, closing her eyes? Then they're just saying, she's resting, hey, what, she's gonna come back. Because I couldn't tell her like, is this person dead or what? After that, like they took her out, they put that box inside the car. I'm like, why is she like being put inside that car? And then they said, they're taking her somewhere, she's gonna come back. Like we didn't even go to bury her. So like after 2 3 days, the funeral is over, people are going home. Took up to like 2 weeks. Hey Muna, you said like my mom like is going somewhere, she's gonna come back. Why isn't she coming back? And then they couldn't like respond to that question. About a month, like we had to take removes out of like we were attending school back in Limpopo by the time. So they had to take us, and then we went to Joburg. That's when I started staying there in Joburg with my father's family, sisters and brothers. So yeah,
Yo, yo, that's heavy stuff, hey?
it was really bad. It was really bad. Eh?
And now, when you go back to all of that, did you ever try to confront the situation to say, like, justice for your mom, or want to get answers from people who were there, like your dad or anybody else from your father's side of the family?
No, like when we went to Joburg to stay there, like it was me, my two cousins, his two brothers, and our two aunties. So I was asking her like, when is my mom gonna come back? And then they were like, no, your mother is not coming back. This is your new mother now. They're telling me that my father's sister is my mom now. So okay, no problem. I'm starting to call her my mom. Like she's starting to take care of us. Like whenever she buys clothes for her kids, she'll also buy for me. So up until I reached 12 years, that's when like suddenly my mind clicked back or like, hey man, this person is not my mother, man. So I'm starting to like asking them questions. Hey, like I want you to guys to tell me like where is my real mother? Then that's where the conflict started. Hey, you don't ask us questions like that. Who are you to ask us questions like that? Who buys you clothes? Yeah, we're telling you that this person is your mother. I'm like, this person is not my mother. I know what happened to my mother. Actually, my dad killed my mother. That's the image that I was telling them that I saw when I was still a child. And then like they started to just hit me. Hey, why are you saying things like that? Hey, who told you that all those things happen? I'm like, hey, I saw them happening. So this person, I'm not gonna call her my mother. So from there, I started like being abused, like emotionally, like physical. Like I would, like, whenever there were chores to be done in the house, they were always like directed to me. Whenever, like, let's say I'm making food, so they would always tell me like, hey, your mother didn't buy those food. Hey, why are you eating? Sometimes you find that like you're making tea and bread, they would just come and snatch the plate on your hands. Hey, your mother didn't buy this. When okay, sometimes when there are school trips, whenever like I needed money to just like buy myself something, they would just like tell me like go and ask your father for money to buy that particular product that you want. And deep down I knew I couldn't go to him because I started to hate him like when that image started to clock in my mind. So I went out to the streets. Like there was this other guy, like he was our next door neighbor. I used to like see him just chilling outside the gate, smoking and drinking. So I went to chill with that guy. And I'm like asking him questions. Hey man, I've got this thing that's troubling me. So what can I use to like get this thing out of my mind? He's like, share with me the story. Then I told him. Then he's like, you can rather smoke weed. Weed makes you to calm down and like forget all like what's happening around you. So that's when then I started like to just smoke. I started smoking when I was in grade 7. From there, I never stopped smoking. From smoking to drinking, from drinking to now using drugs, like upgrading. So, and then I started to like have anger in myself. So sometimes I would think about doing bad things, like maybe buying, like just buying like a lot of drugs to like overdose myself, like committing suicide. Like, why is this like situation happening to me? So like you would find like other kids like having something that you don't have. Maybe they giving you like their old clothes, but nobody buys for you anything. So like it was bad. It
And
was
during
really
this time,
bad.
are you still unable to communicate with your father about whatever it is that you are feeling and the memories that you are having about your mom?
Like I just hate him, so I don't communicate with. There's nothing that I feel like I can actually talk with him, cause he didn't take care of me. Like he didn't do any up until I passed my matric. Like I don't even know like 100 rand from his pocket. I don't even know like a cent from him. So I don't talk to him. Like whenever I just see him, I feel like irritated. So like wanting to do something very bad to him so that I can like ease the pain that I feel inside. So it's hard for me to communicate with him. Yeah.
So now, are you during this time, because you are saying that they took you away from your mother's side of the family? Was there ever a time where you now had started communicating with your mother's side of the family?
Like my mother's mom, like she's the one that contacted like those people already. Hey, ever since you took our grandson away from us, can we at least like see him? Like they didn't want me to have connection with them at all. But I don't know like how she managed to convince them. And then there was this time where they actually came to me like, hey, your granny wants you to come and visit her, but you only going there for 2 weeks only, and then you're gonna come back. So that's when I actually went to Limpopo to actually see my mother's mom. Like I spent about 2 weeks. So she wanted to like take me and then stay with me there forever. Like take me to school so that I can reside like with my brother, because I only knew my brother once. So up until I reconnected with him like now, so I have a bond
Oh,
with
okay.
him now. I didn't know him at all.
So when your mom passed, she had another child besides you.
No, like I can say my mom was pregnant by the time with her mother. So I kind of like called that guy my brother. So
Oh, okay. So you're like same age.
yeah, same
Okay.
age with
Okay.
him. Yeah, that's why I call him my brother, because I didn't like know the guy, and he also didn't know me. Like we just met when we were young, so I'm like, oh, there's this guy. Oh, okay. From there, like I never saw him again up until we were grown. That's where I actually met him again. Yeah.
So during the time when you go to visit your grandmother for like the 2 weeks, what happened there? Did you get any type of closure there? Did you ask questions when you got there?
I couldn't like ask questions by the time, but I could tell her like she was affected by this. Cause like when I heard like they said she used to be sick, like she would ask, "Hey, where is our grandson? Like how can we see him?" Cause like I would see that situation like it kind of makes her like to like her like she was heartbroken. Like they took me away from her, and actually they actually took her like her daughter away from like this earth.
Yeah.
So it was bad, you know. They killing my mother first, they taking me away from her. So like all those two things like kind of affected her. Yeah, I actually went back on a funeral. That was the second time that I was going back home. But I only saw her once in my life and I never saw her again.
Sure. You saw her only for the 2 weeks that you had gone there to
Yeah,
visit.
only for the 2 weeks. Then I never saw her again ever in my life. I only went there when there was a funeral. Like I just got a call, hey, your grandmother left us. Like they didn't even want me to go attend the funeral. I don't know who convinced them up until they allowed me to go there and then attend the funeral.
What seems to be this thing that they're afraid of, that they didn't want you to even have a relationship with your mother's side of the family?
I heard that what do you call? They bribed the lawyers so that the lawyer like shouldn't provide proof that this person actually murdered my mom. You see, and they also didn't want my mother's family side to attend the funeral. They didn't want them to even see the body.
So your mother's family didn't see your mother being buried?
No, they were not there.
Ha!
They were not there. They were never present.
Yo, that is sad, Mona, because it feels like they didn't even give her like the dignity that she deserves. It's like, when you are burying something which is not even a human being,
Yeah.
without even having the family there.
Yeah. They didn't allow them to come. I just don't know why. Cause I heard that even the what do you call even the doctor was bribed. Cause you see, like in death certificates, they write or
The
like
cause
the
of
cause of
death,
the death.
yeah.
So the doctor was bribed because when they went to the police to like look for the docket or like this person was murdered, the doctor said she doesn't know the patient. He doesn't even like have the docket or know what happened on that day. So like yeah, they by the time they had money because way back there around maybe 2000, 2004, 5, like when you used to have a parent which like is a principal like or a teacher, they had money by that time.
Yeah.
So yeah, they literally bribed the lawyer and the doctors.
Sure.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Yeah. No, I'm trying to imagine. My mom passed, but obviously because nobody killed her and I had the closure and everything, it still hurts even today. So I'm trying to imagine how it must have been for you growing up without even having the closure and having your mom being brutally killed like that. So as you were growing, ne, and you
Yeah.
started with the drugs, what was like the breaking point, like the highest peak for you when it comes to or the type of life that you were living? Because I believe that this is past tense now,
Yeah.
right? How bad was it with the drugs?
It was pretty bad. Like I would like use drugs like every day. So just to like to forget that memory that happened and I was like full of anger too much. Like whenever like someone talks bad about my mom, I would retaliate in a bad manner because I don't know or like how it feels to have a mother on your side. So like I used drugs to the certain point where like I actually gave up on life. So I was like, I'm never going to stop doing what I am doing because no one really cares like what I'm going through. Like there's no one who can actually sit down with me and like actually communicate. What are you feeling inside? What are you like coming across in life? You see, so it it reached a point where like I couldn't stop using drugs, but I upgraded to smoking weed, to using cat to using crystal, but not too much. So like I was like scared of crystal because it makes you like hallucinate and like see things. But I used to use cat and weed and alcohol. Like I would use them every day. Sometimes like I couldn't like actually sleep because like I used to see that image happening. So whenever I would see my dad, I would see that image. So I actually hated him. Sometimes when I would see him, I would curse him. You see, like I wish something bad can happen to you because you took away that one person that's really important in my life. And I actually didn't want to stop like using drugs. Like I actually felt like I'm going to use drugs like every day. So because they used to make me happy. Whenever I use drugs or whenever I like take alcohol, I feel happy. I forget that moment. But whenever I'm sober, like the memories flash back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. And in your family, did they even try to get you help of some sort?
Nah, they never like try to even get me help. Like they would just say, this one will end up in the street. Let him just use so. Cause even clothes, they stopped buying for me clothes, stop paying like transport money. Like I used to walk to school. Imagine waking up like at 5 o'clock. Let's say studies is about 7 o'clock. You have to wake up maybe at 4. 5 o'clock, you're going out the house and you have to walk maybe 2 to 3 hours
Sure.
at school. And then after school, they studies. Maybe studies knocks off around 4. You have to walk from 4 up until 6:30 at home. So you are walking every day. You don't have tuck shop money. You don't have a lunch box because when you're making a lunch box, they will tell you, hey, your mother didn't buy that food. And like whenever I'm retaliating, hey, don't talk about my mother like that. They will tell me, they will send you where your mother is. Imagine like your father's family's side, they know that your father killed your mom, and they're actually telling you that we'll actually send you where your mom is. So they're literally telling you that they're going to kill you like a dog, just like your mother, you see. And whenever like they would tell me those words, like I would actually like retaliate in a bad manner, so maybe swear at them. So you see, like maybe when I'm swearing at them, they would actually tell me, hey, you won't sleep in this house, hey, go out. Like maybe they would lock me outside the house. But there was this other friend of mine, he was actually my neighbor, he would actually see what's happening. Sometimes maybe you find that I don't eat in the morning, in the afternoon, even at night, because whenever I'm making food, they would take it and literally throw it in the dustbin when I'm looking at them. So that guy used to see like the situation that was happening. Sometimes he would cry like when I'm sitting with him, or hey bro, I feel what you're going through. I actually wanted to even like stop going to school, but he was the one that used to influence me. Hey, Munna, if you want to change that situation, pass your matric. That's when you can actually have something for yourself. Because those people, they want to do that so that you can end up like being in the streets. So you have to push to get out of that situation. That's when I pushed and then completed my matric and moved out and went to stay with my mother's family side.
Okay.
But our granny passed on, so I've been staying alone like for 3 years, up until my mom's sister like actually contact, like I was the one that contact her, and I'm like, hey, I actually need help. I want to like stop all these things that I'm doing. I want to have a better life. I want to get clean. Yeah.
Sure. So when you now pass your matric and you have to leave this place to go stay alone, was this like during this time when you are, thinking about your situations and everything, is it the time where you are finding peace because now you don't have to wake up to people swearing at you about your mother every single day? And yo, Aishem, it's heavy. It's heavy stuff. So now when you contact your sister, your mother's sister, did you eventually go to rehab to get the help?
Yeah, when I came here, the first day that I came here, like they tried to have a conversation with me, or like, Emuna, we want to take you to rehab. We have two choices. Can you stop using on your own, or should we take you to rehab? I'm like, I'll stop using on my own. But I knew deep down I was lying to myself, because you can never stop on your own. Addiction is something that like it can never be cured unless you tell yourself. So they gave me time to actually work on myself. I took about 2 weeks. when I was sober, because I was indoor for like 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, they were like, "Oh, you can actually go out, maybe take a walk." That was the time where, like, immediately when I went outside the gate, I'm like, "Yo, now I can actually find a spot where I can do all these things." I started using again, back to square one. Whenever I would use and come back to the house, like, I'm sure they could see you, hey man, this person is high on something. But there are those kind of people, like, they wouldn't tell you at first, but there's a certain time where it will come and then they will investigate you. Hey man, day what, you were actually on something. Day three, you were actually on something. We saw you, but we couldn't actually tell you that you were on something. So it took about 2 months to actually admit to them that I do really need help. But I was using, whenever I would go out, I would use, like, I would lie to them, like, I would manipulate them, telling them that, like, I'm going to see someone, or maybe I'm going to see my uncle there by Alex, knowing very well that I'm lying to them. I'm just going out there to use drugs again. Up until, like, there was this other day where I'm telling them, like, "Oh, I'm going out. I want to go chill by the park." So they actually followed me, like, "Hey man, let's actually follow this guy and see what he's actually going to do out there." And I didn't see them. Like, my little brothers, like, when I was coming back from where I was, they were like, "Hey man, we saw you when at this other place." And I'm like, they actually saw me. And, like, the place that, like, they said they saw me at, I was smoking. I'm like, yo, which means I even, like, made the little boys to see what I was doing. And then, like, they called me at night, or, "Hey Muna, we booked a rehab for you, Muna. Are you ready?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm ready." But deep down, still, I knew I wasn't ready, because, like, I thought that, like, I could actually quit on myself, but there was something inside of me which, like, kept controlling me to use, you see. So I told them, like, "Yeah, you can take me to rehab." So when we were there by the rehab, they actually told me, like, "Hey, Mona, it's not that, like, we don't love you while we're making you, like, live these things. We want you to, like, have a better future for yourself and see the world on a different angle, you see." So while I was in that rehab, I thought that, like, this is a no smoking area. This one, they don't permit, like, you to smoke. So in that rehab, they do sell cigarettes for you. So I'm like, what's the point of, like, making me to, like, quit smoking or quit using drugs while here they do smoke? So I'm like, okay, since I don't want to smoke weed or use cat anymore, I'm just gonna smoke cigarettes. But the main point for me to go there was to stop all smoking, whether it's
Altogether.
hardly or vapor, to just stop completely smoking. So I did a cross addiction. Now I was addicted to smoking cigarette now.
Okay.
I would smoke, like, maybe 40 cigarettes in a day. So the smoking continued, the smoking continued.
Were they aware that the rehab that they took you to is actually not really solving the problem because you are like crossing now?
They didn't say that, because when I went there, like, my body, like, was small. But when they actually came after maybe a month, my body was now big, because they give you pills, like, they give you vitamin B, because, like, pills which make you to gain weight. So you couldn't really tell, or, like, do people around here smoke? Do people around here, like, things like that, you see? So you couldn't really tell what happens inside there. Up until when I came back. When I came back, like, I started to smoke, like, inside the yard now. I didn't go out, because I saw, like, once I go out, they're gonna see, like, this guy is back to smoking. So I would buy maybe 2 packets of cigarette, and maybe I would smoke only at night. In the afternoon, when they are not here, I would actually check, oh, they went out. Let me quickly go and smoke. Let me spray perfume on myself so I don't smell of smoke. Up until this other day when I was actually going out, I drank alcohol and then I smoked, and then they caught me again by the smell. Right, man, you actually back to square one when, and then they gave me another chance again. So it was on December time. I lied to them, and then I told them that, like, I'm going to see my grandmother back home. I'll probably take about 4 days. Then I come back. When I went there, I went to smoke drugs again. And when I came back, they saw, like, I man, this person is back on drugs. So they got angry and decided to let me go. They were like, "Hey, we are tired of you. You lied to us. So you have to go. You'll come back whenever you are ready to be open to us." So I left, and then I was back to square one, staying alone. about like three years. Yeah, because I think it was about 2021. So 2021, 2023. Yeah, up until she came on my inbox and was like, hey brah, like we're willing to give you another chance. Are you willing to go to rehab? Think about it. So I'm like, ish, do I really like want to continue living the life that I'm living? Because I see now like it's getting worse. Now I was on crystal meth now. I used to be like afraid of crystal meth, but now I was smoking it now. Sometimes I would hallucinate, see things which are not there, feel things like I would like be sitting so and then I'm feeling some kind of presence which like is beside me, but that was actually on drugs, you see. So I took about 2 weeks to actually open up to her that hey, I do need help, like serious help. That's when she decided to give me a date. And then when she gave me a date, that's when I'm like, hey, let me do these things for the last time now. Because now there's no going back. That's when I drank, smoked as much as I could smoke because,
Yeah.
yeah, it's my last time doing all
Yeah.
those things. Yeah, that's when she took me to like this other rehab in Polokwane. In that rehab, I stayed about 6 months.
Sure.
Yeah, I stayed 6 months in that rehab. Now I came back. I'm healthy. I'm fit. I don't intend on going back where I was. I don't want to go there anymore.
How was the experience like in this new rehab that you went to in Polokwane?
Hey, they discipline there. Yeah, they discipline. Like you wake up on time, you eat on time. But the boring part was that there was no exercise.
Okay.
You just sit there the whole day, you read books, you go to church. But I'm glad like they did take us to church because I didn't know how to pray. I didn't know like or there's a higher power inside of me, you see. So from there, like we learned that like Jesus is our savior. If you admit that God is your protector and your savior, you cannot go back to sinning again because we have sinned before and we have learned a lesson. So I'm really grateful that they took me there because I learned a lot of stuff. Like I do have potential to complete something, and it's actually nice to be sober.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I didn't expect to be sober, but I'm really glad that they helped me to actually get clean and sober. I've been smoking since 2010. I've been broken inside. I come from the DDS pit. Like I didn't actually have that knowledge that like I could actually be clean and do something for myself because I had given up on life that like no one is gonna literally help me. I'm just here on myself. So I'm just gonna be using drugs up until then. If I die, I die. That's what I was just waiting. I was just waiting for death.
Sure.
Yeah.
How did it feel like for you, ne, to know that there are people who actually cared about you so much that they kept giving you chances, especially when you were growing up in a place where even when you were smoking, you were not nobody cared about you being given a chance, to try again. Yet there's your mother's sister who just didn't want to give up on you. How did that make you feel?
Hey, my mother's sister, like I love her from here to the moon. You see, like hey, I don't know how to explain that one, but hey, it's very rare for like a person to like give you two chances. If you blow one up, then they're no longer gonna help you. But on that day, immediately when she started to like tell me, Ori, Emuna, we're willing to give you another chance. And the thing like it entered in my heart, or like, how can this person give me another chance while I blew up the first chance? Does she trust me? Because like no one like trust me. Like friends, yeah, friends they do trust me because like I've been with them, they don't see my wrongs.
Yeah.
Like hey, I was amazed or like, why is this person like trusting? Which means like she actually sees potential in me, you see. Like even my family, like for me to actually move out of that house, I didn't move out because I wanted to. I moved out because of the situation which was happening around me. Like even me and my dad would fight, like a physical fight. Like he would slap me, I would slap him back. Then we would fight, pushing each other towards the walls, things like that. That's why I had to go because I was actually tired of the situation. But for her to actually give me another chance is because she saw that like this person is better at doing something. This person has the potential to be something in life. Let's not throw away the towel, but actually accept him the way he is. Because they accepted me like that, like the first time that I came here. They didn't judge me like, this person's a drug addict. Why are we helping him? But because they saw, like, let's actually help him and see once again. Because I believe a person is actually given like 2 chances. We don't give you 3 chances, but to God, God can give you 1,000,000 chances. Even if you blow up one, but tomorrow you can still go to him and pray, God, I beg for you to not throw the towel on me. So like he can accept you. But that's why they say a love of a person can fade away, but the love of Jesus will always be there towards you. So I'm really grateful like she managed like to pick
Not
me up
give
from the dust and actually get me back on my feet.
Sure, and not give up on you, ne?
Yeah.
Would you say that, because remember in the beginning you had said that the reason why you started smoking was because of what you remembered about your mother and the things that would be said to you by your father's side of the family.
Yeah.
Would you say that you have dealt with that part of your life now as we are speaking?
Yeah, I've dealt with that part because the first rehab that I went to, like there was a psychologist there was this other woman. So I actually spoke to her and told her why I started smoke. I didn't smoke because I liked to smoke. I smoked because of the situation that I was encountering in my mind. So she actually told me that like in order for this mindset to not affect you again, learn to forgive that person. Even if they took away the one person who would have been able to help you, but just learn to like accept her, she's gone, she's not coming back. Because you're gonna hold a grudge, and that grudge, once you're holding it inside of you, it's gonna affect you every day. Because you won't like you won't accept Huri, that person is gone, but you will rather be fighting that thought or like, hi man, I'm not gonna forgive this person because he did this to me. I'm not gonna forgive this person because this and that. But you must learn to forgive a person so that you don't hold that anger in your heart. Because if you don't forgive, which means that anger is still inside of you. Each and every day you're gonna like be building too much anger inside of you. So if you let that thing go, then you unlock your heart.
Yeah.
Then you will stop imagining those things. And sometimes I did used to like talk to my mother's sister about the situation that I was encountering. Sometimes I would cry. Sometimes she used to tell me like just accept that it happened. But we do accept that it happened, but we don't forget. It's not like when we forget, we must actually go back to where we were. The memory still stays there, but it shouldn't drive us to square one. We should just accept like it happened. Because we don't know why it happened, but we must just accept that that situation happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, when was the last time you were in contact with your father's side of the family, especially the people that were saying all these terrible things to you?
I usually contact my granny. Sometimes she's the one that calls me because like that old lady, like she used to back up me sometimes whenever like let's say my pants were torn, my school shoes were torn, like she would back up. She would actually, even if my father was like, "Hi man, don't give this person money, don't buy this person this and that," she would actually buy, or maybe just come maybe when I'm sleeping in the room. Hey, take this. This is your pocket money. I know I don't have much, but the little things that I'm giving you, just be like grateful for them. So she's the one that used to take care of me. Sometimes whenever like I'm not eating, she would also not eat. And then come at night, whenever like people are sleeping, they knock in the room, get in, hey, I brought you some food. Just eat. Like this thing affects me each and every day, seeing how these people treated you. So, but yeah, I'm grateful like she was there at that time. So yeah.
So, if there was to be like maybe an event on your father's side of the family, is that something that you would attend? Have you forgiven them to that point?
Hey, I don't think I would attend.
Ne.
I don't think I would attend. Just maybe like if they would call, hey, can you please come? I'm just gonna be like, hey, I'm busy with something. I can't come. Unfortunately, I was gonna come, but I can't come. But I doubt Uri, I can even go there because they didn't even help me when I was staying alone. They couldn't even like call Uri, hey, do you have food there? Because I used to go out there and like hustle on my own. And I knew like I do have a family on my father's side, but they don't help me with anything. Why should I? Even if like he was to fall sick, I doubt that I could help him. Yeah, I can never help him.
Ne?
Yeah. I'm not saying you shouldn't help your family matters, but to me,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna help them
Yeah.
because they never helped me with anything.
No, but I believe it's a process, eh?
It's a
It's a
process.
process, and you have to be patient with yourself.
Yeah.
But the one thing that for me, ne, it still does not make sense even now is why then did these people take you if they knew that? Because obviously, clearly, they didn't love you that much, because you can't take a child and then abuse the child like the way that you were abused. The fact that already they took your mom, that was bad enough. For them to now take you and keep you away from your mother's side, because I do believe that had they left you there, maybe things would have turned out differently. Even when you find out about what actually happened to your mom, at least having your mother's side of the family would have made a difference. But now there's probably somebody out there, right?
Yeah.
Who is going through probably a similar situation, if not worse or maybe a little bit better than yours, where they are being abused every single day. And there's a guy who is sitting by the corner right now who is smoking something. What would you advise somebody who is going through something similar to what you've been through after the experience that you've had?
I would advise them to actually go to that department and tell their story so that they could,
Is it social development? Oh, okay.
yeah, they can actually go there to social development and lay out their story and actually like tell them they need help because once you are being abused like emotionally, physically each and every day, some people actually think about committing suicide. Some people actually think about like killing the person who's doing those things to them. So I would actually tell them like they should go lay out their problem there to the social development, actually find someone who's really close to them, maybe like their relatives on the other side of the family, tell them or like they are facing this kind of situation where they are staying, or actually like go to pastors. Like some pastors are very kind. They actually do help out, or go to pastors to tell them about their situation. Like some pastors will actually write letters on the social development program to actually take them to rehab to get clean. Because once they allow that situation to defeat them, that's where the problem starts, because you're gonna end up like committing suicide. If it's not suicide, you're gonna actually commit crime. Because some people are abused to that certain point where like they feel like they actually going to move out of the house, and actually if you move out of the house, ne, Angry, like, okay, these people I know were like where they hide maybe the keys to enter the house. So you actually going to break in and actually steal things from that place. So in order to avoid that, they should go like to the social development program and lay out their problem. Because if you don't do that, you're gonna end up living on the streets,
Yeah.
because it's either death or institution or jails.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. For me, ne, I'm thinking right now as you're speaking, because I would not even have told Uri you've been through whatever it is that you've been through, and you struggle so much with drugs, because to me you look like somebody who's like, like myself, who doesn't even know how drugs smell like, right? But what was for you? What was the biggest thing that you were fighting, or what was the thing that kept you going to say, okay, listen, for this I need to keep pushing? How bad was it? How bad is it to try and come out of drugs?
Hey, it's actually bad. Like, there's no cure for addiction. There is no cure for addiction. But if you actually find the higher power inside of you and you actually have like dreams that you want to pursue, ne, that's the only way that you can break free from drugs. Like, imagine you have a friend. That friend like was your childhood friend growing up, but he used to use drugs with you up until he reached a certain point where like, hey, I have to take a certain step back. And then when I'm using more and more and more, imagine you see him like succeeding in life. He bought a car, he bought this and that. Like you would actually like ask yourself, Ish, I actually want to actually be that guy. that's the only way that like you can actually break free from using drugs. Like you're seeing other people that you grew alongside with, they're actually achieving something while you're just wasting your time using every day, using every day, using every day. There has to come a certain point in your life that tells you that like, I don't want to use anymore. I need a different strategy to like actually help myself to stay away from those things. And like recovery takes time. It's not something that like just happens in 1 minute or happens in a day. Recovery takes process. Yeah, it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time because the one thing that you must master when you are in recovery, stay away from friends. I cannot say, when are you my friend, you smoke, and then I'm just out of rehab, I'm coming to your place, we're just coming to chill. Coming to chill for what? Because I know when you're going to take out drugs and start using, in your mind there's gonna be like that certain voice that tells you like, it's just only for today. That's how I relapsed. I relapsed like that. I actually went to one of my friend who was using, and then that voice came back like, just only for today. Just hit to today only. Tomorrow you're not going to smoke. Just for today. And once that voice overpowers you, then it's back to square one. There's no turning back.
Sure.
Yeah.
So it feels like the way you're explaining it, Nay, it means that for somebody who's never used drugs, it's better because when you're looking at somebody doing it, for you it means nothing.
Yeah.
But if you know how it's like when you see somebody in front of you doing it, you already are interested in wanting to do it.
Yeah, but for some people who have never smoked in their life, it's very hard for them to use, because I remember this other cousin of mine and my brother, like I would go out with them and then I'm smoking while I'm with them, but they never had that fury. Can I please taste this thing? Because they used to see or maybe check other people how these things are affecting them, but they never used to like, hey, Mna, can we please smoke? Can you please taste this thing? Like they would ask me or like, hey, Mna, when you smoke these things or use these things, how do you feel after then? I'm like, I feel fine because I was addicted to them. I wouldn't say it affects me anyhow. I'll be like I'm fine when I'm smoking these things. But in order for you to like overcome like these things, like don't have a friend who uses, and don't be like you want to cross like addiction now. Okay, I'm not smoking anymore, which means if I'm not smoking, I'm gonna drink alcohol, because alcohol also takes you back to square one. Like, okay, can I tell you about myself? I told myself that like I'm no longer going to smoke anything, even if it's hardly cigarette. I'm just going to drink alcohol. But because I was addicted to using drugs and smoking, whenever I would like have a couple of 3 beers, that mindset
edge.
comes back with like, hi man, in order for me to have more plug, there's that one thing that's shooting. If I get that thing, then I'll be fine. That's when like alcohol actually takes you back. A lot of people like have tried like being sober on drugs, but once they hit alcohol, then
They go back.
they go back. Like alcohol is the main thing that actually causes people to relapse. Because when we actually tell ourselves or like, we're no longer going to use drugs, now we're just going to drink alcohol. Because a lot of parents don't have a problem with alcohol. But alcohol is like, it's a problem. To me, it's a problem because I can tell myself, or like, hey, this person has been on my toes ever since last week. Once I drink alcohol, I won't be able to like to tell myself, or I must stop like taking this person in mind. I'm actually gonna attack you. And in the morning, I'm gonna be remorseful. I shouldn't have. You see, a lot of killings, a lot of accidents, a lot of suicides, they're actually like committed by alcohol. When you smoke drugs, you won't do any of those things. Like when you smoke drugs and then you had that memory of like, okay, let me smoke so that I can go and attack someone, you wouldn't do it. Like drugs actually make people afraid, but alcohol makes you have that oomph of doing something which is bad. You'll actually be remorseful once you are sober.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we are taking notes. We are learning. For me, I feel like the one thing that it's the biggest lesson is just taking care of the words that we say to each other, because that can also trigger other people into doing things, you know. How long have you been clean now?
I've been clean for like, I think it's 10 months now.
10 months.
10 months. I've been clean for 10 months.
Oh, well done.
Yeah.
Well done. You should be proud of yourself. I'm sure even your aunt is proud of you and everybody else is proud of you.
Yeah, they truly proud of me because I come from the DDS PT. I don't intend of going back there
Yeah.
because the first rehab that I went to, like they were proud of like, yeah, he's coming back home now, he's clean. But I actually like disappointed them on the first one because like 3 years I wasted for nothing. That was just nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I stayed there for like 42 days. Like, you can't be clean for 42 days while you're still smoking on cigarettes there. So a lot of parents, if they want to take their children to rehab, don't just take your like your child to a rehab which is fancy. You must investigate first to do they sell cigarettes around here? Like the times of like monitoring hours, do they monitor these people like very well? Because some other rehabs you just stated, they don't monitor you, they only monitor the place at night. So like maybe we should check he doesn't escape or she doesn't escape. So they must monitor the smoking, the drinking, food parcels which are being delivered to you. They should also check that because a lot of people like they get drugs through food parcels. Yeah, so they should always be aware of things like that.
Yo, Namus, it's a war because you are fighting from all directions, trying to save yourself. There are other people who are going to be coming through with other things and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so 10 months clean. What are we doing now? Because obviously we have to keep busy so that, we just get busy. So what are you busy with?
Now I'm busy helping out my mom in the work that she's doing out there. Like I just take part, like whatever work that she's doing, I just go there and help her out. Because I see that like she has a lot of work that she can't do by herself. So I actually help her out just to keep myself busy because if you don't keep yourself busy, that's also another trigger that can make you to go out and relapse because you're just sitting and then doing nothing. Like when you sit and not do anything, that mindset will come like, ish, I'm feeling like I could just have a plug here, you see. That's when you're gonna go out there and use again. So we should always, for us drug addicts, because anywhere you go, you're going to be a recovering addict. Still, even now, I'm a recovering addict. Even in meetings, you can find that this person has been clean for 23 years, 18 years. They actually, when they actually call out their names, like when we actually greeting each other, he can be like, okay, I'm John, a recovering addict. You see, so we are recovering addicts, and I'm proud to call myself a recovering addict because I actually like also tell what like all my friends or like, hey, bruh, like we can to talk, we can talk, but to meet up, I don't think that will happen because I'm afraid of going back there. But you can tell yourself like you won't go back there, but triggers like certain works in different ways. You see, a person can just come to you like in a good presence that like they tell you that like, hey, you have done a really good job, 1 2 3 1 2 3, can we like maybe catch like a couple of drinks nyana. So once you allow that mind to overtake you, then back to square one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's tricky, but I do believe that one day at a time. I believe that you're going to get there one day at a time, and I do understand the fears that you have. Because you really just want to stay clean, but also at the same time, I feel like you're not gonna be able to stay indoors forever. At some point, even the things that trigger us, we're gonna have to get to a point where we get used to them, and then we know how to manage them. So because obviously it's still early days and with the support that you have, I do believe that you have an amazing support structure and that is going to carry you. And I have so much faith in you. I know you're not going to disappoint them. I know that you are going to keep going and take it one day at a time. And knowing that there are people who are supporting you and they are proud of you, that should actually inspire you to say, listen, I'm going to keep it going. I'm going to keep going it one day at a time. And I love the fact that you now understand prayer, because obviously, just by us saying I can do it on my own, it's not possible. Because sometimes I believe that things like this are things which are so that they can destroy our future.
Yeah.
And the reason why you can get to a point where you are addicted to drugs to this extent, it would be that because whatever that is in you is big, you know,
Yeah.
whatever that is you are supposed to be accomplishing in life is big. So all these things that are coming, it's literally just distraction so that they can destroy you, so that you never get to go to where you are going. I do believe that you have a very, very bright future, and there's no way that God could have saved you to be able to tell a tale that you are telling today just for the fun of it. And also for your family not to give up on you and to still fight to say, listen, we're not giving up on this person. I believe that you have been saved so that you can go out there and save more people and change other people's lives.
Yeah.
Yeah, so thank you so much for sharing your story with us. Before we wrap up, do you want people to get a hold of you on the socials?
Yeah, they can get all of me at the socials. So
Okay.
yeah, they could just search for me on Facebook, only Facebook,
Okay.
Gustavo La Montana. You're gonna find it there. And just some couple of words for the youth nyana. So like sometimes the choices that you make, they don't only affect you, but also affect the people you love and care about, because time and the people we love are the only two things that can never get back to this world. So if you mess up those two things, then there's no more replacing, there's no more like fixing it. Time and the people we love, take that into mind. So yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. That is beautiful, guys. With that being said, thank you so much. A big shout out to Sen Studio, our home, for hosting us. A big shout out to Itu Hair Studios for crowning me. A big shout out to Crowned Lioness for dressing me up. And a big shout out to Hydro Quench. Don't forget to visit our website, www.madamspeaker.co.za. We'll see you on the flip side. God bless you. Mwah.